What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Sports Outlet Show. My name is Joe Wagner, hosting here with Brent Allegra and Brayden Wilkins. Another Wednesday night as we get towards the middle of October, which means the middle of football season. Gentlemen, how are we doing on this fine Wednesday?
Yeah, doing good, doing good. A lot better than I was Sunday about 7:30. I'm getting better. I'm getting better. We'll put it that way.
It's a process. I understand. Brayden, down there. I feel like you're so far down there. I feel like you're so far. You know, you own your own little island where I'm going to start calling you Revis.
Nice. I'll take that.
There you
Quite a
go. There you
compliment.
go. Hey, happy to help, Brayden. How are we doing on this fine Wednesday?
Dude, I'm fantastic. We got a lot to talk about, so I'm ready for it. I'm amped.
I think there's just no better way to, as one would say, dive on in. So why don't we just go ahead and do that? Welcome back to the Sports Outlet Show, everybody, on your Wednesday night. Thanks for hanging out with us here for about an hour on YouTube Live. We'll be brief. We'll be quick. Brayden and Brent might fill your pockets if you saw the Twitter posts recently. 4 Super Sixes in 7 weeks, including 2 back-to-backs. Cue the Drake song. Just kidding. Don't want to get copyrighted. But could they go for the three-peat? It's like bowling. It's like bowling. The turkey's the hardest to get.
I was going to say the only thing that can cure heartbreaking loss like I did on Sunday night is $10 into $350. That definitely helps. Definitely helps.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it felt pretty good.
Just goes back into the gambling fund, I assume. It's called investing. Let's get it right. Everybody enjoyed it so much last time. The Sports Outlet Show Social was back. Last time it was timeouts and turmoil. And Lane Kiffin was calling timeouts, clapping, whatever was going on. Everybody's been making a meme about it. But welcome to the next snap. And the reason it's the next snap is because yesterday is gone. Today is the present. Sunday is the future. When you get past the third week of October, especially in the college football world, we are past week 7 and 8 into week 9. And this is where postseason play really amps up. It's where NFL teams start deciding, are they going to be playoff contenders or are they going for draft picks? It's all about that next snap on Saturday and Sunday. But before we even get into that for the social, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the World Series. The Los Angeles Dodgers, the Toronto Blue Jays, Shohei Ohtani, show me the money. Good grief, what happened the other night, boys?
Just 3 home runs, 10 Ks. Pretty typical, I'd say.
6 shutout innings.
Yeah, I do that like in my sleep, so come on.
Average night out.
Crazy stuff. Honestly, he might be the best baseball player of all time. And I don't even think that's over exaggerated.
He might be the greatest athlete ever.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, that performance was certainly one of the top 2 individual performances of all time. And in the playoffs, it's just insane.
That may have to be one of our blind top 10s, is top 10 greatest athletes of all time across all sports, how do you compare Michael Jordan to Tom Brady? How do you do it? It's impossible. But anyways, we're going to dive into it a little bit, guys. Obviously, talking a little bit about the gambling aspects behind it on DraftKings. LA is minus 157 on Friday night, October 24th at 8 p.m. Well, they will kick it off in Toronto. Blake Snell has been announced as the starting pitcher for the Dodgers, but still nobody announced for the Blue Jays. So they're keeping it close to the vest, and I think they might need to. But LA surprisingly just minus 157 on Friday night. But the over-under of a World Series game being at 7.5 tells you just how explosive these offenses are and how hot the bats are in LA and Toronto. Obviously, George Springer having the 3-run bomb to send the Blue Jays into the World Series, and the Mariners packing in one of the most emotional game 7s that were ever seen. Dodgers are minus 215 to win the series. Blue Jays are plus 180. Would I be crazy to say that minus 215 is free?
I don't know.
Not at all.
It's no diss on the Blue Jays, but I feel like that's pretty good value for what the Dodgers have been pulling out.
We'll find out in our picks.
I think it is. I have the Dodgers winning the series 4-1, and I think it's just because in baseball sometimes you have a cough at night where you just cough up the ball a couple times, can't hit it. Maybe the pitcher goes 2 innings and gets yanked. You put these teams side by side on paper, and it's not great. So this could be, in my opinion, one of the most boring World Series we ever have.
Yeah, I've got the Blue Jays easily.
Oh, do you?
No, I'm just messing. I got the Dodgers. I have them sweeping the Blue Jays. Actually, the Blue Jays don't have good pitching. Dodgers do. I even think the Dodgers bats are better than the Blue Jays as well. So I'm going the clean sweep. It's not even going to be a contest.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. Dodgers are going back to back, unfortunately. This team is just built for this. All the money that goes into this team, they have quite the roster. So, but I actually have
Salary cap?
Need a salary cap. Save Paul Skeens. Save him, please.
I do think if the Dodgers win the World Series, I think it brings up the discussion again. I know there's plans to talk about that this offseason, but the Dodgers winning definitely doesn't help the case of the people that are anti-salary cap.
Yes.
Dave Roberts says, let's go ruin baseball. Well, please go do it, and let's have the salary cap be set right before we sign Paul Skeens. So please don't hurt me. I can't afford to be hurt. Brayden, what do you got?
Yeah, I got Dodgers in 6. Let's make this a little interesting.
We got 4, 5, 6. Nobody picking 7?
Nope. Ain't happening.
I'm picking 9.
Thunder 9. That's what they say.
Yeah.
That's what they say. Speaking of the Thunder and NBA tip-off action last night, they beat the Rockets, and Kevin Durant came back to Oklahoma City in a double OT game, saw a ton of foul outs in double overtime in this high-scoring affair. I'd be remiss if I didn't say that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander showed up as the MVP last night. 35 points, 5 boards, 5 assists. And guys, always take the over when it comes to SGA on the free throw line. He did miss 4 of them, but was on the line 14 times, including that game winner. It was 124-123, 2 seconds left in double overtime. Of course, SGA is getting the ball. Kevin Durant fouls out, game over. It's pretty simple like that when you lose him. And then Chet Holmgren, he had 28 points before fouling out. On the Rockets side of things, Alperen Sengun looked fantastic. Guys, funny enough, it was a showdown of Thunder draftees last night, talking about Sengun and Durant. Obviously, Durant got drafted 2nd overall to the Seattle Supersonics, but OKC the following season. And then Sengun was the 16th pick in the 2021 draft for Oklahoma City. So all the Thunder people were putting up points last night. He had 39 and Durant had 29 before he fouled out. Talking about the Thunder, talking about the Rockets, this could pose a Western Conference Finals matchup really early on with the dynamic offenses that they have, with the Rockets having Jabari Smith and then the Thunder returning essentially 95% of their roster. Guys, what do we think about this one?
I'll just say that I don't think Kevin Durant can have revenge games because he's been on so many different teams. He's played for half the league, so you can't have a revenge game there. But that's just my thought.
I was going to say it's going to take some getting used to him on the Rockets. It kind of feels wrong. It's a little interesting to have him there, but yeah, Thunder looks great once again, and they should be poised for another deep playoff run. Early to say that, but the champions are still pretty strong.
I feel like you can say that about anybody that was on that 2010 team between Durant, Westbrook, and Harden. They've been on probably 20 of the 30 combined NBA teams.
Yep.
And they've met up a couple times. So other than that, there was one other in action last night as well, with the Golden State Warriors beating the Lakers 119-109, familiar finals opponents. Jimmy Butler went off with 31 points, and then Steph Curry had 23 and was 33% from the three-point line. Luka Doncic decided he was going to go beast mode. 43 points, 12 boards, 9 assists, and what are we doing in Dallas? Can we talk about that stat line for a minute? The fact that they lost.
That is crazy. You'd think that'd be enough.
Not quite.
Welcome to the LeBron effect, where nobody ever helps you out. Speaking of LeBron James, he's going to be out still a couple of weeks with sciatica. He's still going to be out for a few weeks there. And then Bronny James did not play. Coach's decision is that drama in Los Angeles.
Future MVP, Bronny James, the GOAT.
Did you say M or N? M or N? Nickelodeon or?
Hey, Cam Scatterbeer's won 2 MVPs now, so it's not a joke of an award anymore. Let's put it that way.
I agree. I don't think it is either. But again, ton of action as well this evening, and ESPN is getting inside the NBA. If you guys recognize that as well, so intrigued to see how they continue the TNT crew. But lots of games there, lots of games in hockey. We got World Series on Friday, and there's just a ton going on in the world. But one more announcement before we get over to our college football recaps, and this kind of ties into it a little bit. You ever see a coach get fired after winning a football game?
It is a little more rare. I'll put it that way. But honestly, like maybe some more teams should do this. Let them go out with a bang. I like it.
Being the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
I saw the interview right after that game. He said, "I'm going to enjoy this one, and we'll see what tomorrow holds." So obviously he knew it was coming, and he's probably known it was coming for a while now. But he's got a lot of places to look. He
definitely does, Brayden. I'm glad you touched on that point. He's 22-23 with the Gators, and that is unacceptable in Gainesville. They expect perfection. They expect to get back to the top mark, and now is kind of the season to do it for them. Guys, I don't know if I've seen so many Power 4 schools have head coach openings this early on in the season before. It's been horrendous across the league, and that makes head coaching searches so much crazier for teams that are trying to do it. Listing off every single one that's available, including some group of fives. Florida, Penn State, Arkansas, Oklahoma State, Virginia Tech, UCLA, Stanford, Oregon State, and then your group of fives, Colorado State, UAB, and Kent State. A lot of teams that are looking for a head coach, and according to the 1 and 2 marks a little bit from everything I've read on, Florida and Penn State are the 2 places to watch the most.
Yeah, I don't think it's a great offseason to need a head coach with all these openings. I'll be honest. I think it's going to turn into very much a bidding war for a lot of these top guys. And then it might even turn into a thing where you're trying to poach coaches from other teams, especially for Florida, Penn State. They're definitely going to be looking for bigger names than what's out there right now.
What is craziest thing I've heard is, like, just reading everything that's been going on in the sports world, is Lane Kiffin to Florida or Penn State.
I've heard Florida a lot with Lane. Lane
so, and I understand how they've been playing lately, Penn State, Florida, but those are 2 very marquee jobs that SEC caliber coaches will be looking at. They're not going to go out and pick a group of 5 guy up like Alex Galesh. They're going to go after a dynamic player, that's for sure. They cannot miss on those hires between Florida and Penn State. But a lot of job openings, and guys, we still have about 6 weeks of the season left because a lot of teams wait till the end of the year or after bowl games to do this. So this year they've just decided, let's get the front foot forward and the guy out the door. Over to college week 8 recaps for college football. A couple here, guys. I will kick us off with Louisville shocking the Miami Hurricanes in a 24-21 upset that sends both teams to 5-1. That lone loss for Louisville being against Virginia. But the USC transfer, the senior, we talked about what Miller Moss needed to do, and he did exactly that on Friday night. 248 yards and 2 touchdowns. A lot of that to the 4-year senior who spent his entire career with Louisville, Chris Bell, with 9 catches, 136 yards and 2 touchdowns. But, guys, the defense was fantastic. I mean, 2 TFLs, 5 pass deflections, and Carson Beck threw 4 interceptions. Yuck. And lost by 3 points. So
Heisman odds in the toilet.
And then proceeds on the last play of the game to say that it was his receiver's fault. Talk about being a leader in the locker room. Carson Beck, obviously the Georgia transfer, 271 yards, 4 picks, 0 touchdowns. Yeah.
Nice.
Heisman. He went from plus 200 to like plus 4,000. So good luck with that, buddy. Mark Fletcher Jr., the running back, the 3-year Miami junior, 8 carries, 18 yards, and a touchdown. So we're just going to stop running the ball when our quarterback's throwing 4 interceptions. Makes sense. And then Malachi Toney, the freshman, 9 catches, 135 yards. Mark Fletcher was averaging on the ground 15 and a half carries, 85 yards, and a touchdown. And we give him the ball 8 times when your quarterback's not playing well. I'm not understanding what didn't click, but both of these teams to 5-1. The ACC is wide open for Georgia Tech and UVA to go take it.
Yeah, they're the
very, very intriguing.
Only teams undefeated in the ACC. They're controlling their destiny.
I feel like it's fair to throw that up every time.
Yeah,
I feel like it's fair. But next up, Louisville's going to host the world's greatest ACC team in Boston College, and Miami will host Stanford, who had an upset last week against Florida State. What happened to Tallahassee? Good grief. Good grief. Brayden, Brent, I need you to take me to Athens, Georgia.
Yeah, I've got that one. Ole Miss at Georgia, as Joe mentioned. Pregame odds were Georgia -7.5. The over/under was 56.5. The final there, Georgia 43, Ole Miss 35. Georgia's made fourth quarter comebacks so routine at this point that Kirby Smart might as well trademark them. The Dogs were down 9 to Ole Miss heading into the final frame, and then, like clockwork, flipped the SEC death switch and stormed back to win 43-35. Another week, another cardiac win, and another reminder that Georgia just refuses to die. Gunnar Stockton was the story. 289 yards, 4 passing touchdowns, 3 of those to tight end Lawson Lucky. Some say he got lucky on those touchdown catches. I'm not going to say that, but some people are saying that. And also added a 22-yard rushing score, all while nursing a sore oblique that had him limited in practice all week. Dude basically played hurt and still looked like a cheat code. He went 12 for 12 in the second half, shredding the Rebel defense, which didn't have an answer for him all day. They just let up points like crazy. Ole Miss, on the other hand, they looked like world beaters early. They looked like they were going to win this game based on how the offense was playing. 5 straight touchdown drives and a 35-26 lead at the start of the fourth. Lane Kiffin had Georgia sweating until the Rebels' offense suddenly fell off a cliff. Georgia finally had some answers for them on the defensive side of the ball. No first downs, no rhythm. And like I said, the Dogs' defense woke up.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Kirby, he played it perfectly down the stretch, trusted his defense, took the points, and let Stockton cook. None of those fake timeouts this week, so that was good for him, especially. Georgia outscored Ole Miss 17-0 in the fourth quarter and handed the Rebels their first loss of the year. And Brayden and I, we had Ole Miss plus 7.5. So watching that collapse unfold in real time was pure pain. Because like I said, we thought Ole Miss was going to win this game the way they were playing early on. We were sitting there begging for one more drive, one more stop, anything to hang on to the cover. Instead, Georgia did Georgia things and crushed our souls and our bet slip in the process. So yeah, Brayden and I are hurting after that one, but we made up for it on Sunday. We made up for it.
absolutely.
Honestly, I still think both of these teams are college football playoff level. Ole Miss is too explosive to fade long term. Trinidad Chambliss is playing awesome, still up there in Heisman odds, and Georgia's just built different. They're hard to kill and apparently even harder to bet against. So I still think both of these teams are college football playoff contenders when all is said and done.
Yep. It's just how many of them in the SEC are going.
Yep.
I mean, we can talk about that point for a little bit about the fact that A&M's in, Georgia's in, Ole Miss should be in,
Probably.
Alabama's right there, Vanderbilt's in the top 10. There's 5. Did I forget anybody that's Oklahoma's at number 13 or so? A lot to look out for. I think there's 10
Mizzou.
SEC teams ranked. Yeah, there's 10 of them currently ranked. So all the way down to Texas is at 22. I think they may be at the bottom or one other than that, but good grief.
It's crazy because I feel like the two like main contenders for the national championship come from the Big Ten. I think that's obviously Ohio State. Indiana has been playing lights out. I know we talked about him a lot last week, but you got to give Kurt Signetti credit the way he's playing. I really think those two teams are the contenders for the national championship, and then you have a long list of SEC teams that are
plus Oregon, plus Notre Dame.
Yeah, it's just wild this year.
Yeah,
from an SEC perspective, especially.
Yep. Literally, it's never mattered more in the SEC to not slip up on games against like Kentucky, Mississippi State, Arkansas, Florida. Like, you cannot go lose one of those games or you're done. Like, it's over.
Yep. Texas already did.
Yep. Yeah, no, Texas is very on the outside looking in.
Yep.
But this team, speaking of almost dropping one.
Yeah, and speaking of soul-crushing covers, Texas A&M 45-42 against the Razorbacks. They're able to hold off Arkansas in a shootout with a Reuben Owens 12-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter, giving the Aggies a 10-point lead, which proves to be enough. Arkansas scores a late touchdown with 10 seconds remaining to cover the spread, but not enough to get the win. So that hurt us, but it did not hurt Texas A&M. The Aggies, Marcel Reed continues to be stellar. He moves into top 5 in Heisman odds. He was 23 for 32, 280 yards, 3 touchdowns in the air with 55 rushing yards and 1 touchdown on the ground, and he did not take a sack all day. Wide receivers Ashton Bethel-Roman and Casey Concepcion signed as they combined for 9 catches, 136 yards, and 2 touchdowns. On defense, Dalton Brooks led the way with 9 total tackles, 1 sack, and 2.5 tackles for loss. 42 points is the most amount of points the Aggies have allowed all season, and only the second time they've allowed more than 24. Notre Dame put up 40 on them, but they were able to win that one. And so, yeah, this team doesn't usually give up a lot of points, so that speaks a lot to Arkansas's offense. And speaking of them, this team has been much better than their record shows, particularly on the offense. Their 3 SEC losses were against Ole Miss, Tennessee, and this game against the Aggies, and they've come by a total of 12 points. Those are all one-score games. Their quarterback, Taylon Green, has been an absolute beast. This game, he accounted for all 5 of the Razorbacks' touchdowns. He was 19 for 32, 256 yards, and 3 touchdowns in the air, with 85 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Their running back, Mike Washington, was also a beast, 16 carries for 147 yards, and wide receiver Omega Blake with 7 catches, 118 yards, and a touchdown. So the offense has been great. The defense has not held up at all. They're bottom 15 in FBS in terms of total defense, allowing 444 yards and 32.7 points a game. So no wonder they're not winning these games despite the offense cooking. Next week, they take on 3-4 Auburn at home on Saturday. Auburn's been a team that has been stout defensively but hasn't put up a lot of points, so this could prove to be a very good matchup for the Razorbacks. And Texas A&M will travel to Death Valley to take on the LSU Tigers to see if they can stay undefeated.
What I learned from this, Brayden, is that Bobby Petrino and Kirby Smart don't care about your covers.
No, they do not.
They don't care. Doesn't make any sense.
Sad.
Hey, man. You know, that's it. That's in the past. That was the last snap. Let's go to the next snap. Brent, tell me what's hitting this weekend.
Yeah, I got a few for you. I'm going to start off with Missouri at Vanderbilt. I have the over in that one. It's set at 51.5, which is honestly like kind of high, but I think this game could get a little messy. I'll talk about it a little bit more because it's one of my breakdowns, but obviously Bo Perbula for Missouri, he's lights out. Diego Pavia, he's even more lights out, climbing in Heisman odds last week with that huge win. So, yeah, I'll go into that a little bit more later, but I have a little bit more insight in the next two for you. Alabama at South Carolina. This might be my favorite bet of the week. I have Alabama minus 12.5. Since falling to Florida State in week 1, Alabama has been one of the best teams in the country, 6 straight wins, and has covered in 5 of those 6 wins. South Carolina is reeling and doesn't even look close to the team they had at this point last year. Shane Beamer, he's probably he's looking like he's on the hot seat. I think he's going to be out of a job when all is said and done. Give me Alabama with the points there. My next and final one is Ole Miss at Oklahoma. I have Ole Miss plus 5.5. Sorry, Joe, on that one. As mentioned at the top in my recap, Ole Miss dominated Georgia for 3 quarters last week. Obviously fell apart a little bit there at the end, but they have one of the best offenses in the country with Trinidad Chambliss, and Lane Kiffin does not want to drop a second straight. I'm taking the points to be safe, but I could see Ole Miss winning this one outright. So if you wanted to take the money line, obviously you add a little bit more to your bet slip there. But I'm taking the points. If you parlay those together, it's plus 584. So $10 pays $68.40.
Like we say, that's a nice dinner.
It's a nice dinner.
It's a nice dinner.
It's
either you get rid of the $10 for that extra 3 gallons of gas, or you go take the fiance out to a nice dinner, right?
Yep. You either eat or you don't. That's what my parents used to say. You either eat or you don't. So.
and that was fully based on them gambling, correct?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. Gosh, they still did it well then. They still did it well.
It's whether they hit black at the roulette table or not. That's whether or not I got dinner.
They probably didn't have 000 roulette like they do now. So
yeah, yep.
Things are just getting tougher.
It really is.
Things are getting tougher. College Week 9 games to watch fits us perfectly. Brayden touched on it a little bit with Texas A&M traveling to Death Valley. Good grief. I remember when we started the year at Death Valley, and Clemson is like 3-100. But LSU still hanging on by a thread to the rankings at 5-2. Texas A&M at number 3, 7-0. Brent's favorite college football team, led by quarterback Marcel Reed, with 1,770 yards, 15 tutties, 4 interceptions, and he can run the ball as well. 241 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. That's 19-4 total tutties on the interception ratio. He is plus 1,000 at Heisman odds, putting him at 5th place, just behind a couple of quarterbacks. But guys, Reed's wide receivers and Mario Craver and Casey Concepcion have been fantastic. They've combined for 69 catches, 1,200 yards, and 10 touchdowns, and they've just been fantastic so far on the offensive front. This Aggies team, led by defensive end Cassius Howe, he only has 13 solo tackles, but 8.5 of those are sacks with 3 pass deflections. He is in the quarterback's mouth every Saturday. Texas A&M in ACC play, I feel like this is honestly kind of their first true test. They beat Auburn by 6. They beat the Bulldogs by 22. They beat Florida by 17, and they beat Arkansas by 3. Obviously, that marquee matchup beating Notre Dame early on in the season is their biggest win to date. SEC-wise, this is the hardest it comes going to Death Valley, a team behind Brian Kelly that cannot lose one more game. There's 10 SEC teams ranked. We talked about that. LSU is 9th of 10, with Texas being that 10th of 22. They lost to Ole Miss by 5, and they lost to Vanderbilt by 7. Brian Kelly has been unable to win the one-score games. Quarterback Garrett Nussmeier, I feel like we say his name every week when we're talking about the Tigers. Last week did his job, 225 yards and 2 touchdowns, but was not enough to go after this scorching hot Vanderbilt offense. Other than that, he's been poor. Florida, he threw for 220, a touchdown, a pick. Ole Miss failed to get to 200, a touchdown, a pick. And South Carolina, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. 24 points scored is the most that LSU has scored in SEC play so far this season, and they lost to Vanderbilt. 24 points. This offense has been nothing like LSU has wanted or seen since Joe Burrow. A little factoid to maybe be on the side of the Tigers is the last time that the Aggies went into Death Valley and won was 1994. To put that into perspective, 2 things. Bill Clinton was in office, and not a single Wagner brother had been born. It has been 31 years. With that being said, give me them Aggies. 31-20. Brian Kelly might very much be on the hot seat if this game is an L.
Yeah.
Again, another prominent job that could pop open.
Yeah, I think he's gone. LSU had going into the season, they had such high expectations. They thought they were a shoe-in for the playoff. Obviously, returning Garrett Nussmeier. You have studs on the defensive side of the ball. It sucks, but it is what it is. I mean, Texas also had high expectations going into the year. They fell off a cliff. Clemson as well. It's just
A lot of teams.
a lot of it's not what you expected going into the season, and it's made for a fun year, honestly, because teams have come out of nowhere like Vanderbilt, who honestly at the end of last season you could see it coming a little bit for Vandy, but it's made for an interesting college football season for sure.
I 100% agree, and I cannot believe this, Brayden. Thank you for giving some love to some G5 teams. So let's go through it. This is the biggest one of the weekend.
Yeah, you got to get some group of five love in here. There's going to be one team in the playoffs, so let's talk about two teams that could make it. This game easily could have been the deciding factor for the group of five bid into the college football playoff bid before Memphis fell against UAB last week. That doesn't mean they still can't play spoiler to USF while redeeming in themselves a sliver of hope for that spot. USF, their only loss came in a beatdown from Miami, but they've been dominant since then, averaging 57 points per game since the loss while only allowing 22.25 per game. Their quarterback, Byron Brown, has been a dominant dual threat, 1,700 passing yards, 16 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He's also leading the team in rushing yards and rushing touchdowns. He has 475 rushing yards. The next closest has 275. He has 6 rushing touchdowns. Next closest has 3. Keep an eye on tight end Jonathan Eccles in this one. His receiving yards don't stand out. He has 7 catches for 92 yards in the season. He does have 3 touchdowns, though, with 1 in each of the last 2 weeks. So if the Bulls wind up in the red zone at any point during this game, this is a guy they trust in that area. On the defensive side of the ball, linebacker Mac Harris has been the standout guy with 56 total tackles, 5.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and an interception that he returned for 93 yards for a touchdown against South Carolina State. USF is currently the overwhelming favorite to earn that group of 5 playoff bid, but they will need to take care of business here. For Memphis, last week was a crushing blow to their playoff hopes against a 3-4 UAB team. That's the interim head coach effect. Trent Dilfer no longer there, so of course the Blazers win. But it's not necessarily over for Memphis. In order to win this game, they have to start. You have to score a lot of points, which the Tigers have. They have averaged 38 points per game this season. They need to rely on the rushing attack. Sutton Smith, Greg DeRossier Jr., and their quarterback, Brendan Lewis, account for 1,300 total rushing yards and 18 rushing touchdowns. That front seven needs to contain the Bulls quarterback, Byron Brown. Sam Brunfield, linebacker, leads the team in sacks with 3.5, so they could really use 1 or 2 in those in this game. So if Memphis wins out, they grab quality wins against, obviously, USF. That's this game. Tulane and Navy are also on the schedule later on the line. Those are the 3 teams currently ahead of them in the American. If they win all 3 of those, I think that could be enough to get them in. Unfortunately, I don't see that happening. USF has been too dominant. They're going to win 31-21.
If Memphis wins that game last week, College Game Day is there.
I agree.
And it would have been awesome to see for all the G5 teams out there with Byron Brown on the national stage, because that kid has been electric all season long. And Memphis dropping that game is brutal. Not to take away from Vanderbilt hosting, but from the fact of they would have been in Memphis. It would have been this group of 5 matchup, and it just would have been awesome. It would have been awesome. It's okay. It's okay. Speaking of game day, where it actually went.
Yeah. Week 8, it gives us a matchup that feels like a glitch in the SEC matrix. Am I reading that right? Number 15, Missouri at number 10, Vanderbilt.
Imagine saying that 5 years ago.
That's wild. That's wild. College Game Day is in Nashville. I'm pumped for it. The Doors are favored. And somehow this game matters for the college football playoff picture. What a world.
I think the loser's gone.
I think the loser's gone, and I think the winner has a leg up, and they control their own destiny for sure. You've got two of the hottest up-and-coming coaches in the country, Eli Drinkowitz, who's quietly built Missouri into a consistent threat, and Clark Lee, who's done what we all thought was scientifically impossible, made Vanderbilt good again, as they are now ranked in the top 10 for the first time since 1947. That's a long time, boys. That's a long time.
Good grief.
This is also the first time these two programs have met as ranked teams, and both coaches might be fielding calls from big-name schools, like we mentioned, Penn State and Florida, before the season's over. If I were them, I would take a page out of the Indiana playbook and give those guys raises right now. They need them. They've been cornerstones in building these franchises up.
Before you lose them.
Yep, exactly. Vandy's offense, pure chaos in the best way. Diego Pavia has turned into a walking highlight reel, 1,569 passing yards, 15 touchdowns, 438 rushing yards, and 4 more on the ground. And he's now 4th in Heisman odds. We alluded to it at the top, but the Doors are averaging 6.3 yards per carry, which is 4th in the FBS. So they have an absurd run game. They also have an absurd 9.5% of their runs ending in touchdowns. That's video game stuff. That's what you want to see if you're a Vanderbilt fan.
Yep.
But not to discredit Missouri at all, they're no slouch either. Quarterback Bo Prabula has been efficient but risky. 11 touchdowns, 7 picks, while running back Ahmad Hardy's been a tank, averaging 120 yards per game and has 11 touchdowns on the season. The Tigers are pounding defenses for 245 rushing yards per game, 7th best in the country. So you got the 4th place running team and the 7th best running team facing off against each other. They'll need that ground game to keep Pavia off the field because Vanderbilt's offense has been nuclear at home. Defensively, Mizzou's pass rush is the X factor there. Damon Wilson II has 5.5 sacks on the season, and Zion Young has 5. They've both been terrorizing quarterbacks, and they'll have to find a way to contain Pavia without letting him gash them on the scrambles. And I'm just going to say it. I'm riding the Pavia bandwagon until the wheels fall off. This game screams chaos, and I love the over. Prediction, Vanderbilt 30, Missouri 27. Commodores keep the dream alive, and Diego Pavia's Heisman stock keeps climbing.
This is ridiculous.
I love it. College game day, baby. We're here.
So awesome.
I don't understand how this game on this night, if you take a look at the schedule to start the season and this is what's happening in college football, sign me up. I'm all for it.
It's so fun, dude. Vanderbilt is so fun to watch. If they make the playoff, I'm going to be riding with them the whole way.
They're a wagon.
They're a wagon.
They're an absolute wagon. Awesome. That concludes our college football slate, which means we're going to head over to the NFL, guys, because we don't have anything in between. There's nothing in between there, right?
I don't know.
Brayden, can you read the script and tell me what's in between NCAA and NFL?
Let's see. It's just some little thing called the blind top 10.
The blind top 10. Today, we have Nickelodeon kids shows.
Ooh, I like it.
It's time to tear some people apart.
Bring back the childhood.
I got to remember what's Disney and what's Nickelodeon. I have to re-rack my brain there.
That's not a problem for me, but you go after it. Here we go. I believe, Brayden, are you first this evening?
No, I think it's Brent. I was first last time.
You know, I'm going to start writing this down in the script. I'm done. I'm done guessing. It's embarrassing.
I forget too. Brayden's been on top of it.
Brayden, you get a cookie. Good job.
Nice.
Then Brent, at number 1, you have iCarly.
This is literally the first show I thought of when you named the category there. iCarly is top tier. I mean, it's got to be a top 3 pick. I don't think either of you would disagree with that either. I know Drake and Josh is Nickelodeon.
Is it?
I think so. Brayden?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Drake and Josh is my number one. That's my number one kids show, period. Across Nick and Disney. I can't think of another one better than iCarly, though.
Is it considered kids or teens?
I don't know. I'll put it at
I'm
2.
playing mind games here.
I'm putting iCarly at 2. It's a great show.
I'm playing mind games at the moment. Brayden, I think this is in the top for Brent and I because I remember us watching this together. Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide.
Ned's Declassified's a fun one. I think I know a couple that could go in 1 and 3. Drake and Josh was mentioned. Another one I think is up there. SpongeBob for sure going up there. I think Ned's Declassified is going to go at. We'll put it at 5.
I think that's safe. Who was it? He had the crush on? Was it Susie Crabgrass? Was that it? Susie? Was that the right show?
I have no idea. I can't think that far back.
I know Cookie. Cookie was funny in that one.
Oh, I do remember Cookie.
Yeah. Yeah. The coconut head guy. He was cool.
Heading on to number 3, Brent, we have Victorious.
Victorious is also another solid show. Honestly, like back in the day, celebrity crushes there with you got Tori, you got Kat, and you got Jade. All 3 of those, I mean, they were smoking hot back in the day. Another solid show. I think it's better than Ned's Declassified, but not by much. I'm going to put it at 4.
Putting it at 4. I got to make sure I spell this right.
You got it.
Hey, man, spelling's hard. At number 4, going way, way, way back, we have Rugrats.
Oh, Rugrats. That's a fun one. That's such a fun one. I know, like I said, I know my 1 and 3. I'm sticking with that. And I think there's a couple between Rugrats and Ned's Declassified. So I'm going to go with 8 here.
Yeah, I didn't watch much Rugrats, I'll be honest. I have like vague memories of it being on really early in the morning when I got up. But other than that, I don't remember watching it.
I honestly never watched this either. So it kind of creeped me out a little bit. It was kind of creepy.
Those babies.
Back to you, Mr. Allegra. We have the Backyardigans.
Backyardigans were solid. We got Pablo, we got Tyrone. Come on, boys. I love me some Backyardigans. I gotta put it at 6. There's just so many wagons on this so far.
I forgot Backyardigans was Nickelodeon. So fire.
Yeah, it was amazing. Definitely more kids than teens, but it was awesome. It was probably one of my favorite kids shows, easily.
There you go. Brayden, back to you. How do I explain this one? I'm not sure how to explain this one, but I've never thought that it's been so simple, but you'll find a way. Where's Drake and Josh on this list?
Brent, I'm sorry. I know it's your number 1. Got to think SpongeBob's still on here, so I'm going 3.
Yeah, I know SpongeBob's going to be on there. I know SpongeBob's the popular pick, but I would have easily put it at 3. It's just like it's good. It's good. Don't get me wrong, but it got a little annoying for me at times. I'll be honest.
Okay.
All right. Well then, Brent, where does SpongeBob SquarePants go on this list?
Well, at this point, we've covered the top 6. Well, 2 through 6. I can't put it at 7 or lower, so it's got to go at number 1 now. Which again, I don't think that's a terrible pick, but Drake and Josh and iCarly would have beaten it for me.
I think that's
SpongeBob SquarePants.
My perfect top 3. I'm happy with it. Yeah, I think that's fire.
All right. We got 3 left. You guys are at 7, 9, and 10. You've kind of left it wide open down there. Back to you, Brent. We
Brayden.
have Oh, sorry. Back to you, Brayden. We have Zoe 101.
I knew this was coming.
Zoe 101. Yeah, that's a good one. That's also fire. I'm gonna put it at 7.
I probably would have put that in the top 5. I loved me some Zoe 101 back in the day. It's a fire show.
The whole concept of that show is crazy to me, of the fact that, like, they're living the
know.
college life and they're not in college.
I was jealous. I was like, how can I sign up for this?
Go to Cali. I think that's where it was filmed.
Yep.
So, all right, Brent, you will lock in 1 and well, you're going at 9 or 10. Not sure what to do here, but at 9 or 10, you have Jimmy Neutron.
Oh man. See, all of these are solid, except for maybe Rugrats, just because I haven't watched much of it. I don't remember it very well. But it's really hard to mess up with this list because they're all really good. I gotta go 9. I can't put it at 10. I'm forgetting a lot of these shows.
That leaves 1.
I
I don't know if you guys have ever had it at number 10 be the finale.
I don't think we have. Yeah, I'm thinking we should have shifted Rugrats down to 10. That's on me. But other than that,
at number 10.
Yeah. As soon as you said
the
Jimmy
Fairly
Neutron,
Odd Parents.
yeah, that's rough.
It's all good. It is what it is. All of these shows are solid. Except like I said, I don't remember Rugrats. It was probably good. But a good solid list. And I just thought of something. When I have kids, I'm not letting them watch any of the new junk. I'm just gonna replay all of this stuff so I can
so
rewatch
you can
it.
watch it. So I can rewatch it.
Yes. That's what I'm gonna
smart.
do.
Get the kids well cultured.
Yep.
No, son, you have to watch SpongeBob. None of this Henry Danger crap.
I think Henry Danger is considered old now. They don't make that anymore.
There's no way. Dude, I don't have any idea what the new shows are. Is Paw Patrol considered new?
I think that's still going. I don't even know.
Why was Bubble Guppies not on this list? I need to talk to Kyle. I never once watched that.
Yeah, that was past my prime.
I'm curious to see my wife's list on this.
Was Wonder Pets Nick, or was that Disney?
That was Nick. Also fire.
Like that show. This is a good one.
I'm trying to think. There were some other ones that I was looking up. Hold on, I'll get the honorable mentions.
Danny Phantom.
Danny Phantom was one of them that I almost, because that's an underdog. Mm-hmm. Is that Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Yes,
was a really good one. Cat Dog was on there. And then if you guys remember Doug, he was on there too, the scientist guy.
I didn't watch too much Doug, but I do remember him.
Oh, and then Invader Zim was another one.
What about Kid Butowski? That might have been Disney.
That was Disney, yeah.
Dude, how did we not have Fanboy and Chum Chum?
Was that on there?
That was towards when we were in middle school, when that got hot.
Yeah.
Crazy.
They just walk around with underwear on top. What are we doing, Nickelodeon?
Weird show.
What are we doing? But glad we could go back about 15 years, make you feel young again, Brent, for that one. But let's dive back in here. We're shifting over to the NFL. Thanks, everybody that tuned in for the top 10. We'll see you next week, same time. It'll probably be around 7:30, 7:45, so make sure to tune in. And viewership went down 45%. Here we go. Joe's 2-minute drill.
Here we go.
Wait, let me get it pulled up.
We need to make a new ranking system. I feel like if I'm between 140 and 2 minutes, it's a win. If I'm less or over that, it should be a loss, in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah.
Let me get set up. There were a lot of games to go over this time. I think this actually might be the most. So, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Spend one day in London and you get a victory. LA Rams 35, Jaguars 7. Liam Conan and everything going on in Jacksonville is poor. 35-7 win for the Rams. They go to 5-2, 4-3 for the Jaguars. Stafford throws 5 passing touchdowns. Devontae getting 3 of them. Travis Hunter 100 yards touchdown for his first TD of the season. Carolina Panthers get an ugly win, 13-6. J.C. Horn had 2 of those interceptions, and quarterback mayhem going on in Carolina. Quarterback mayhem going on in Carolina and New York. Young injured, Fields bench. Tyrod Taylor was up there. Chiefs 31, Raiders 0. Another goose egg, 2-5 Raiders, 4-3 Chiefs. Rashee Rice in his tenure comes back 2 touchdowns, 3 from Mahomes, and Genty just 6 carries, 21 yards. Dolphins, Browns. Dolphins go to 1-6. How is Mike McDaniel still head coach? Quinshon Judkins has 3 touchdowns on 84 yards, and Tua turned the ball over 100 yards and 3 interceptions, back-to-back games with 3 picks. Is Quinn Ewers starting yet? Patriots Titans 31-13. Drake May had put the mayo all over Cam Ward. It was a 2-touchdown performance for him with 222 yards. That's a lot of twos. Cam Ward 255 yards, a touchdown and pick. Nothing good from the intern head coach there in Tennessee. Bears Saints 26-14. Bears improved to 4-2, 4 in a row. DeAndre Swift has 124 yards and a touchdown. Spencer Rattler throws 3 interceptions and 2 touchdowns. Chris Olave has another great day with 2 touchdowns. Philadelphia Eagles 28, Minnesota Vikings 22. Jalen Hurts has 3 touchdowns, shows he can actually pass the ball. Devonta Smith, electric career high day, 183 yards and a touchdown. And A.J. Brown gets 2 as well. Finally, Cowboys Commanders. Dallas has one of the hottest offenses in the league. CeeDee Lamb returns 110 yards, a touchdown. Dak Prescott 264, 3 touchdowns. Commanders fall to 3-4. Cowboys beat down 3-1.
Is this your best yet? 151.
Nice.
I feel like that's really solid.
Amazing.
Well done.
Really solid, Joe. We do have a predicament next week. 6 teams on bye. 6 teams. How are we gonna account for
out a
this?
little bit?
Well, let's see. I don't know. I know how to do it. Commanders 22. That's how you
I like
do
it. That's a
how you
solid
get it done.
strategy.
Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for him. NFL Week 7 recaps. We got a couple of them. Did not expect this one to make the list, but rightfully so. Brayden, take me over to Green Bay.
Yeah, it was a close one. 27-23. Green Bay was able to take home a win despite trailing most of the game late into the 4th. A decision that certainly cost Jonathan Gannon and the Cardinals was to go for it on 4th and 1 at their own 48-yard line with 6 minutes remaining. They don't get it, and Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs drive down the field to score and take their first lead of the game. The Packers, not a lot going offensively. Jordan Love was 19 for 29, 179 yards and a touchdown to Tucker Kraft. Josh Jacobs had 13 carries for 55 yards and 2 touchdowns, including the game winner. Micah Parsons makes his presence known with 3 sacks, his best game in a Packers uniform so far. And we have a kicker controversy in Green Bay. 12-year veteran Brandon McManus has been dealing with a quad injury, and in his absence, they find Lucas Havarisic, who drilled a franchise-long 61-yarder to end the first half, and he is 4 for 4 in his 2 games this season. For the Cardinals, Jacoby Brissett, 25 for 36, 279 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he was sacked 6 times, including a strip sack by Rashawn Gary that led to a Packers touchdown in the 3rd quarter. Trey McBride continues to prove himself as one of the best tight ends in the league, 10 catches for 74 yards and both of Brissett's touchdowns. The Cardinals are on bye this week. They will look to take the time to figure out how to stop this 5-game losing skid as they take on Dallas in Jerry's World after the bye. And the Packers will travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers for Sunday Night Football and a game that we will discuss more later on.
Micah Parsons showed up.
He did for once. Finally.
Yeah, I was gonna say I heard the Cowboys were trying to trade for Max Crosby. I wonder if Micah Parsons is available. Maybe they could look to that if they need a pass rush.
Yeah.
I think they could, because if they had a half competent defense, they have the best offense in the NFL currently. So
imagine if they had Micah Parsons. If they had a player like Micah Parsons on their team, that would just be crazy. I can't even imagine it.
Being real.
Dude, they'd probably have to trade like 4 first-round picks to get him. Is Dallas? Should we check in on the city of Dallas real quick? Luka dropped 43 last night, and Micah Parsons had 3 sacks.
Got hurt.
It's almost like you shouldn't trade away your best players.
Hey, they got Kenny Clark, man. They're good. Solid.
Could you imagine if the Packers had Kenny Clark? we could do this all day. Brent, I'm glad to see you smile. Brayden, let's just sit back and somber music.
All right. Let's start off a little fun. Let's start off by playing a hypothetical game.
Uh-oh.
So, what if I told you that a team was beating another team 19-0 with 14 minutes left? I'd say that's pretty solid. I'd say they're probably going to win that game.
They won.
Yeah. What if I told you that same hypothetical team was beating that losing team 26-8 with 5 minutes to go? Even better.
We covered minus 18.
Even better. We'd think the said team would win the game, right? We'd all think that. Well, when teams trail by 18 plus in the final 6 minutes of the game, they have historically lost 1,601 out of 1,602 times. The one occurrence of a team winning when they were down by 18 or more with 6 minutes to go was the Broncos against the Giants this past Sunday.
Yikes.
So that's how we're gonna start it off. Let's figure out how this epic collapse happened. The Giants, they were lights out early and often. Jackson Dart was throwing dimes, 283 passing yards, and 4 total touchdowns on the day. This is all without Malik Neighbors, by the way. Scattaboo and Tracy were running well with over 100 combined rushing yards. Wan'Dale Robinson had 6 catches for 95 yards. Daniel Bellinger and Theo Johnson combined for 154 receiving yards and a score each. The defensive side of the ball was having their way with Bo Nix. Brian Burns added to his sack total with 2 on Sunday, taking possession of the most sacks through 7 weeks of play. The Broncos were completely shut out. And then the fourth quarter happened. Bo Nix became the first quarterback ever to log 2 or more passing touchdowns and 2 or more rushing touchdowns in a single quarter. He also had a successful 2-point conversion to Cortland Sutton on their first touchdown. The final 3 points came on a game-winning field goal from Will Lutz as time expired, and the Broncos beat the Giants 33-32. Don't get me wrong. Bo Nix deserves his flowers after that game. He took advantage when it mattered most, but let me set something straight. The Broncos didn't beat the Giants on Sunday. The Giants beat themselves. Here are my top 4 reasons the Giants made history, with each reason getting progressively worse. Number 1, Deonte Banks. Get this man off my team. I don't think it's a coincidence that when Paulson Adebo got injured in the second half, the Broncos finally started moving the ball. Consistent lapses in coverage against both the pass and the run. It looks like he's not even trying out there. His game tape is honestly hilarious. He's not trying. Number 2, Daboll's head-scratching play calling up 10 with less than 5 minutes to go. 2 Cam Scattaboo runs to get to under 5 minutes put us at 3rd and 5, 1 timeout left for the Broncos. You do 1 more run on 3rd down, and you burn the Broncos' final timeout. Again, the Broncos are down 2 scores, so they would need an onside kick after their first score if you run there. 0 timeouts. Instead, we give them an interception in our own territory. Jackson Dart's only bad play of the day. Perfect. Number 3, Shane Bowen dropping 8 in coverage on the Broncos' final drive when we have a top 3 pass rush in the league. And Brian Burns, he had some words for that after the game. I don't know if you guys saw that clip or not. And our secondary is without 2 of our best players due to injury, Javon Holland and Paulson Adebo. What makes this worse is the same exact thing happened in the Dallas game week 2. It's the same exact way we lost. It's actually unbelievable that you can make that same mistake twice. Number 1, and the one that gets my blood boiling more than any other, Jude McAtemney. This guy was benched at Rutgers. He was a backup kicker in college at Rutgers. He was not a starting college kicker, only on our team because of the international player exemption. Younghoe Koo is sitting on our practice squad. Hell, Lucas Haversick, Brayden just brought him up. He tried out for the Giants when Graham Gano got injured. I just don't understand it. the player personnel decisions for this regime are beyond questionable, and the same mistakes happen over and over and over again. It's so infuriating, and it's why we continue to be a losing franchise, even though our players are getting better and we have our franchise quarterback. Anyways, next up, Giants travel to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles for the second time in 3 weeks. I expect the Eagles to get some revenge there. Broncos host Dallas, who is coming off a big week against the Commanders, so that one should be a lot of points in that matchup. So that's my take on everything. I'm going to leave it at that. It was a lot.
I'm sad for you.
I'm sorry.
Like, you have to try to lose a game like that. You have to. There's so many things that had to go wrong. And granted, it was probably the best loss you could ever have. I mean, just historic.
Just wait with this offense when Malik Neighbors is back. And you go out there, you get yourself a top 10 pick, and you go get another one, and everything going to be all right because the defense is okay.
Jordan Tyson, give him to me.
There you go.
And Diego Pavia at tight end.
There you go. I like that.
There you go. Well, I'll just rub some salt in the wound, Brent. I'll talk about the Colts.
It's all right. I'm rooting for him.
There you go. The Colts are 6-1, and they just debatably beat. I understand the Chargers have some injury concerns and everything going on there, but Indianapolis low-key dominated. I know they only won by 14, but they dominated the Chargers on Sunday afternoon, and Shane Steichen has looked fantastic. Tyler Warren was one of the best picks in the rookie draft. Daniel Jones, say his name every week, 288 yards, 2 touchdowns. Again, no interception. And Jonathan Taylor only got the ball 16 times on the ground and had 94 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Colts offense is disgusting.
It's
with Daniel
insane.
Jones, a rookie, Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, Joshua Downs. That has so many vibes of 2015 Carolina Panthers with how gross that receiving core is. And the fact they have an elite tight end. Let's just compare. Cam Newton, Daniel Jones, obviously similar play style, but Cam was more of a beast. Jonathan Taylor, Jonathan Stewart, same first name. Tyler Warren, Greg Olson, putting up similar stat lines. Jericho Cotchery, Michael Pittman, Ted Ginn, Alec Pierce. Should I go on? Darius Leonard, Luke Kuechly.
Darius Leonard's retired.
Yeah.
His name's Shaquille.
Hey,
Shaq.
it's fine. I could keep going on. I don't care about defense. What I do care about is the Chargers offense. Justin Herbert had 420 yards on 55 passing attempts. Can you tell me your 2-star running backs are out without telling me your 2-star running backs are out? That's a career high. 55 passing attempts.
I saw Haskins is out too this week.
Yeah, it's Vidal and
Monty Vidal.
probably the hot dog guy on Fifth Avenue.
Yep.
That's what LA's got over there. They might have to call Harvey Specter in to play some offense. And then the rookie tight end from Syracuse, Oronde Gadsden II, pops off. Every fantasy team probably put in waiver wire 1, 2, 3 potential on this kid. 7 catches, 164 yards, and a tight end in a spot in fantasy football where tight ends are hard to come by. Indianapolis is 6-1, and boy, do they have an easy stride into 7-1, hosting the Tennessee Titans at 1-6 at Lucas Oil, and the Chargers get a good chance here as a 4-3 team to host the Vikings on Thursday night football, and who knows who's at quarterback in Minnesota at the moment. Whoever it is, it doesn't matter. I promise you. It really doesn't. But expect the Colts to go to 7-1, and the AFC South, after the way Jacksonville's been playing, they're running away with it.
Yeah, I know they're number 1 in the AFC, but like realistically, like looking at some of the teams behind them, like okay, maybe the Chiefs, maybe the Bills I'd put ahead of them. Other than that, I think they really are a top 3 team in the AFC.
Yep.
And I think they could like realistically make the Super Bowl this year. That's how crazy this is.
Daniel Jones winning a Super Bowl.
Oh.
Daniel Jones against Saquon Barkley in the Super Bowl. I'm ready for it.
You can wear your Chiefs t-shirt.
I have a Daniel Jones jersey. I'd just be wearing that, man.
There you go. Hey, maybe Colts Buccaneers, Brent. You wear your Daniel Jones, I'll wear my Baker Mayfield. We go gamble and cry.
There you go.
That'd be
Nice.
sick.
There we go.
Everybody would make fun of us, but it would be awesome.
We would be at the blackjack table and everybody would be like, these poor guys. these poor boys. And then Brayden sitting over there with his Saquon Barkley jersey like this. I'm going to win my third Super Bowl in the last 5 years. I'm ready for it. Brayden, you're continuing to heater, and you should have had a sweep last week. But at 12-4, which is a playoff record, probably number 1 seed, what do we got?
Yeah, we're going to start off Jets at Bengals under 44.5. We do not know who's playing quarterback for the Jets unless I missed it. Could be Tyrod Taylor, could be Justin Fields. They've both sucked lately.
Whoa. What about the hot dog guy on Fifth Avenue? Don't leave him out of the competition.
It's true. He could play. So most of the points are going to have to come on the back of Joe Flacco, who looked pretty solid last week against the Steelers, but I don't think that he's putting up 44. Could be wrong. The Bears, next, I'm going to the Bears plus 6.5 at the Ravens. I understand Lamar Jackson did practice today, and he could be back, but this is more about how well the Bears have been playing, not how bad the Ravens have been playing. I think this Bears team has been very, very good, and they could stack up to a fully healthy Ravens team. So I have them covering the spread here in that game. And next, we're going to the Bucks, only minus 4.5 at the Saints. Look, I know Baker didn't look exactly like he has all season against the Lions, but it was the Lions. This is the Saints. They do not have the Lions defense, and I understand the injuries that the Buccaneers are going through, but they still have Tez Johnson. So that's all I need.
MVP. Brayden, I feel like every week you come up here and you give me best bets, and I see one that I'm just like, how is that up there for plus money?
I'll tell you why. It's the Lions trend. The teams that play the Lions, they usually lose the next week. That's got to be it.
You're right. I forgot about that. Well, we're cooked.
I think you're good.
Brayden, wait. Brayden, I got this.
Saints money line.
Hey, and while Joe's typing, I do hope that Joe Flacco puts up 44 this week, because I'm starting him in fantasy. I'm starting him in fantasy this week.
Yeah, there you go.
I will say that Thursday Night Football, the Unk Bowl,
that was awesome.
Took me back. They did everything they needed to do. The tears were flowing, and it's the only time you'll see Bowl and UNC next to each other. So
I like that. That's a good analogy. I like that.
I can't take credit for it, but I will. NFL Week 8 games to watch. It's like Brent and Brayden are in sync, like on the top 10, because Brent actually picked up Bears-Ravens.
Yeah. Week 8 brings us a weird one. The 4-2 Chicago Bears, winners of 4 straight, as Brayden mentioned, heading to Baltimore to face the 1-5 Ravens. 1-5. What happened? Injuries happened.
Lamar had to poop.
They haven't scored a touchdown since what feels like preseason. The Ravens are somehow still favored by 6.5 in this game, mostly because Vegas assumes Lamar Jackson's about to throw on the cape and save the season. Like Brayden said, he did practice today, so that's an injury report to watch for sure. Baltimore, though, they've been brutal without him. 10 points versus Houston, 3 versus the Rams, but the MVP, he's reportedly coming back. That's what all the news outlets are saying. Obviously, the sports books think so as well.
He's playing.
When Lamar plays, the Ravens actually look like an NFL team, putting up at least 20 points in all 4 of his starts. When he doesn't, it's hard for anyone else to keep this injury-riddled team afloat. The Bears, meanwhile, they've quietly figured things out. 4 straight wins after an 0-2 start, and the offense is looking good, averaging over 26 points per game during that 4-game stretch. The defense is streaky. They just let Spencer Rattler carve them up for 233 and 2 scores, although he did have a few picks in there as well. So if Lamar's healthy, this could turn into a track meet. I don't know what the over-under is on this one. I don't have. Oh, yeah, I do. 49.5. I could see this one going over if Lamar plays. Defensively, the Ravens might finally get some help back. Roquan Smith's expected back to face his old team after missing 2 weeks. That'll help contain the Bears' ground game, which DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai, they both had themselves some weeks last week. Realistically, though, Baltimore's playoff odds are on life support. Teams that start 1-5 make the postseason less than 5% of the time, and those odds drop to 1% with another loss. So, yeah, this is desperation mode for the Ravens. If Lamar's back, like I said, I'm taking the over. Both teams should move the ball, but I think it stays a lot tighter than the line suggests. And like I said, like Brayden said, it was one of his best bets. I'm riding with it. My prediction is Ravens 27, Bears 24. Again, this is if Lamar plays. If Lamar doesn't play, I think the Bears easily win this game.
The Bears are 4-2, and they're in 8th in the NFC wildcard race because every single team has 5 wins that's in the NFC playoffs, besides the team that's number 1, which is the Green Bay Packers at 4-1-1, where a tie helps. What a crazy world we live in. What a crazy world
That's
we live
wild.
in.
I didn't see that. That's wild.
Yep, absolutely nuts. It's a rare occasion, but that tie against the Cowboys, it looked bad then, but it's looking kind of decent now with the way their offense has been playing. Oh boy. Okay, let's breathe. Let's all take a deep breath. The Carolina Panthers are 1 game out of the NFC South first place. The Carolina Panthers are 2 spots out of a wild card. The Carolina Panthers are undefeated at home. The Buffalo Bills are coming off an embarrassing loss to the Falcons.
And a bye week.
We are cooked. Let's dive into it, shall we? Let's go to Buffalo. That Monday Night Football loss was 24-14 at Atlanta before the bye week. So using transitive property, because we use that all the time in football, the Carolina Panthers will win 40-0 because we blanked them 30-0. That's how it works. Game over. Let's head to the next one. I'm just kidding. Josh Allen. Everybody that has ever known me as a friend, a football fan, knows that when it comes playoff time, because my team's never there, I am Josh Allen's number 1 fan, and I always root for Buffalo. This game is tearing me apart at the heartstrings of the fact that I have to root against the man, because it only happens every 8 years when they come to Carolina. Josh Allen has 1,400 yards, 11 touchdowns in the air, and 3 on the ground. He's got 14 total and 4 picks. James Cook is popping off this season. 107 yards, 107 carries, 537 yards, and 5 touchdowns. And Joey Bosa's back there. It's a little scary. 2 sacks, 4 forced fumbles. But, in Bryce we trust, right? In Bryce we trust. He's figured it out. Well, MetLife Stadium strikes again. It wasn't the turf's fault. It definitely was the defensive lineman's fault because you can literally tell he was tripping. It was actually funny enough, the text I sent you guys that should have been a 15-yard penalty that was a high ankle sprain on Bryce Young. Enter the Red Rocket. Oh boy, things are going great, Carolina. In 2024, last season, he started 5 games. Part of that due to Bryce Young being benched early on in Canales' tenure. He had 989 yards passing, 7 touchdowns, and 6 picks, and went 1-5 with the record. Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. The tandem in week 7 of Dowdle and Hubbard was 17 carries and 79 yards for Dowdle, which is 4.6 yards per carry. Hubbard got the ball 14 times with 31 yards only with 2.2 yards per carry. Again, Hubbard coming off an injury, so don't look at that uniquely on 1 week. I love Panthers Twitter. It is awesome with the fact that we have weeks 1 through 3 Chuba Hubbard. We have weeks 4 through 7 Rico Dowdle. And we signed Chuba Hubbard to all this money, and now nobody wants him on the field. Versus weeks 1 through 3, 1 through 4, everyone is like, why is Rico Dowdle in the backfield? Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball is what we're going to do this week. And then play action, Jalen Coker, 80-yard touchdown. That's the way we win. That's the only way we win. Xavier Legette popped off last week. 9 receptions, 92 yards, and a touchdown. Teteroa McMillan is going to be covered all night long. If Xavier Legette and Jalen Coker can get out routes, use full advantage of their zone and one-on-one opportunities, because Buffalo, like every team in the NFL now with Carolina, has to respect the run. And if they respect the run, that opens up one-on-ones and opportunities, especially with double teams on Tet McMillan. He was quiet last week. He had 2 touchdowns the week before. But this Panthers offense is legitimate. Maybe. Who knows? My prediction. This Buffalo Bills team just came off a big loss to Atlanta. It was embarrassing, the fact that they lost that game. Josh Allen is going to do Josh Allen things. Yes, the Carolina Panthers are 4-3. If you look at our wins versus our losses, we've won the ones we're supposed to besides Dallas. That one looks great. And we've lost the ones we've honestly been supposed to as well. The Bills' offense is too much for a backup quarterback and a run game to keep up with, especially when Josh Allen can make a 20-second drive play to win a ball game. I think we get stomped in this one, and reality checks in for Canales and company and shows just how much Bryce Young actually means to this football team. I have the Bills 38, Panthers 21. I'm hopeful, but, I'm realistic at the same time. But I will say this as a Panthers fan, if they go out and win this football game, I'm going to start dreaming about the playoffs. And I don't want to dream and get my dreams crushed. So if Buffalo wins, we go to 4-4. We have a couple weeks. We get to play the Saints twice. We get the Falcons again. We're going to have to rewire the system. But this is the test game of the year for Carolina of, is 4-3 legitimate, and can you go win 9 football games? It's going to happen on Sunday.
Yeah, if you win this one, I mean, I would be too. I mean, that the Bills are an amazing team. And like you said, like, is there any chance that Bryce Young plays? Because I saw that I saw some weird stuff on Twitter today.
I don't think. Last I checked, his high ankle sprain was going to keep him out at least 1 week.
Okay. Maybe it was just I don't know what it was.
I mean, we signed what's that guy's name from the Bills? Funny enough, we signed like the Bills' backup quarterback.
Okay, that's usually a telltale sign then.
Yeah, so I don't think he's going.
But yeah, what'd you say, Brayden?
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if I'm the Bills, I'm selling out for the run. I'm making Andy Dalton beat me. I think the game plan's as simple as that.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think guys have played on high ankle sprains in the past. But Bryce Young is a huge piece of this team, and the Bills are a great team. It's a game you really don't expect to win. So re-risking or aggravating that injury is probably not what they want to do.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I am going to enjoy my Super Bowl of the fact we are over 500 for the first time in 4 years. So, yay. We could just go lose like 12 in a row, but it's fine. Whatever it is. Brayden, you have an interesting one to talk about. Let's hit that Survivor, and then we'll say goodnight.
Yeah, Joe, interesting is a word. There aren't really a ton of great games this week, but I think this one has a chance to be really intriguing. On paper, looking at the records, it is a great game. This is going to be less of an analysis and more of a rant or a study about how I don't know what to make of either of these teams at this point in the season. So we'll start with the Packers. They're in an interesting spot. They're maybe not performing to the expectations that were set after the first 2 weeks of the season. But, Joe, you either broke into my notes or my brain, because you mentioned this earlier and almost said what I said verbatim. They're still currently sitting atop of the NFC with 4 wins over 6 teams that currently have 5 wins. And, Joe, you said it. Maybe tying isn't all that bad. Their struggles against Cleveland, Dallas, and Arizona doesn't really scream championship season in progress, but they really do have enough pieces on this roster. If Micah Parsons can build the momentum of the last game, he and Rashawn Gary, currently tied at 5.5 sacks, can cause terror to opposing quarterbacks. And on the offense, just keep hanging on for a couple more weeks. They haven't been great, but Toyota-thon Jordan Love is about to be activated. And then for the Steelers, they're another team in an interesting spot. They're leading the NFC North, which coming into the season, which would have been a huge shock to most of us at this point in the season. The loss last week against the Bengals shakes things up a lot. It's a divisional game, and the Steelers have a really tough stretch for the remainder of the season. They have, obviously, this game against Green Bay. Next week, they have the Colts. Then they have at the Chargers. Then they have the Bengals again. At the Bears, Bills, potentially healthy Ravens twice. Then they have Miami. Then they're at Detroit and at Cleveland. So the only surefire wins that should be in there are Miami and Cleveland.
9-8.
Scratching our heads about how the Ravens still have a shot to win this division. That's a tough schedule for the division leaders. Luckily, they have Aaron Rodgers looking for his revenge game in his first game against the Packers in Jordan Love. Their run game has been terrible, but that's okay. Aaron Rodgers doesn't care about that this game. He's going to want to throw the ball 100 times. This game is going to feel stocky, chunky, kind of old school, vintage Aaron Rodgers maybe. I don't know how this game's going to go. I don't know how these team seasons are going to shake out. So I'm just going to say Packers win this one 28-24.
I like it. When I was scrounging the waiver wire earlier this week, because of all people, Sam Darnold's my quarterback. He's actually been pretty decent for fantasy so far. He's on bye this week. I was looking for Aaron Rodgers first because I figured if there's a game that Aaron Rodgers wants to go off, it's this one.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking for him first. I think he's on a team. I'm not sure who has him in our league. And then I saw Joe Flacco, and I was like, this is just perfect. The Unk Bowl last week, it didn't disappoint. I got to go with Flacco.
There you go. Get in price for this game. I believe this is Sunday Night Football, if I'm not mistaken. Sunday Night Football is upper level corner is $220 for a regular season football game. It just means more.
A lot of attention on this one.
Do you think they boo him or cheer him?
It's in Pittsburgh.
It's in Pittsburgh.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
If it was in Lambeau, I think the prices would be doubled of what it is.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, since it's his first time facing them again. So Super Bowl rematch.
Yeah.
Just opposite team. That's got to be crazy for Jordan Love. It's Leonardo versus Master Splinter is what's going on Sunday night. So be interesting to watch in another great primetime game, and we've had so many of them.
Dude, I'm telling you, both these teams puzzle me so much. So this matchup just does not compute in my brain very much at all.
No data up there.
Nope. It's blank.
Let's head to staying alive. Brayden is still at 7-0. We'll let him go last so we don't take any of his picks. Brent, staying alive.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Joe, but I got the Bills 4-2 over the Panthers, who are 4-3. You mentioned it. Coming off that embarrassing loss, they don't want to repeat that. Even more importantly, they had their bye last week. I think they did a lot of fixing, getting right, maybe especially on the defensive side of the ball since they've been struggling there a little bit. I think the Bills win this one pretty handedly.
Yeah, I hope you're wrong, but I don't think you will be, but I hope you are.
I hope I'm wrong too. It'd be awesome for the Panthers to win that one, especially with Andy Dalton.
Yeah, I agree. The Red Rocket, he's ready to rock and roll. By the way, none of us can repeat each other's picks, so I'll go ahead and go next. My survivor pick is the Atlanta Falcons over the Miami Dolphins. I think this is an easy one for me. Definitely the Dolphins just look terrible, and the Falcons, I think, have a good enough offense with Bijan Robinson. Should be an easy one. Right?
Yeah, we already set the standard for repeats earlier in the season. I've done it before. I'm going to do it again. Joe, I'm running out of teams here. This Falcons feels like a slam dunk. Whether Tua's starting, which I think he is, or his backup, Quinn Ewers, who I just don't know what's going to happen here, other than the Falcons are going to beat the crap out of him.
I think so too. Guys, I need you to promise me one thing and one thing only. Can you do that?
Sure.
If you hit another NFL Super Six, please don't leave the podcast for better opportunities. I promise. I promise. We can't pay you anything. We actually don't give you any money. We take time away from your families. But it's about this. It's about this right here. So just please don't leave. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
I can't
Good
confirm
luck.
or deny.
Good luck. Brent's got offers out the window right now. He's waiting for his opportunity to get out of here. Speaking of getting out of here, we ran a little bit over, but thank you all so much for hanging out here with us on Wednesday night. Thursday night football tomorrow evening. Make sure to tune into it. We're getting into late October. We got the World Series on Friday. NBA play heating up as well. So, hey, you know what? Make sure you tune in next Wednesday as well. But Thursday Night Football, Brayden will have you on the post-game pulse and always looking fancy with those post-game pulse, Brayden. So keep it up. Viewership is high. Awesome. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us here on Wednesday night. We'll see you next Wednesday back here on YouTube, and it'll be spooky season with Halloween 2 days away. But we will see you next time here on the Sports Outlet Show, and good night.